All right. Hello, everybody. Wow. We just got out of the theater seeing Snow White. Finally, the day has come.
hmm
Uh, there's, sometimes you see something so tragic that you can't really put into words what you saw. There's a lot. There's a lot to say about this tragedy because this is no simple, quick in and out of a theater. This is not a fun ride where you go in, have some laughs, take some notes, enjoy yourself, laugh about it. This is not the case today. It won't be the case for anybody either. We have a lot to talk about today. I am very pleased to be joined by my friend Cami here with Let's Tune In. Why don't we check with you first, Cami? How you doing?
I'm okay. I was laughing a lot on my drive home, just remembering all the nice lines that we had in that movie.
You were laughing about it?
I was laughing, yeah. I was laughing.
Wow. You had okay.
There were some
So,
pretty
hmm,
crazy things that they said. I feel
gosh, I don't think there was a single thing to laugh about.
really.
You and me are starkly different here.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good laughter. It was like ridiculous. Like why how is that even possible?
Yeah, I mean, this movie, it goes beyond like what is possible. It takes mediocre to a level we haven't seen since the Acolyte. Truly, truly, I am not a big Snow White guy. I watched it for the very
Wow.
first time just the other day. I was homesick the other day. I watched it with my mom, and wow, what a touching story! It hits on so many just charming elements. Charming is the perfect word to use for the original, the classic 1937, and the first animated full feature animated film in Technicolor. 1937, so long ago. I
Wow.
believe that was 87 years ago. That's all. Wait, let's see. Was it 87 years ago? It was over 80 years ago, people. It's insane for us to go all the way back then to giving us a timeless classic that has surpassed generations. Great grandma saw this when she was young. Isn't that insane? Pass it down to us, little old us, and we'll probably end up passing it down to our children. And here we are today in the theaters to see an utter bastardization. There is no other word to use it. An utter bastardization. I don't really it's like I said earlier, it's hard to put some of these things into words, but strictly off of emotional reaction, it's it's sort of like it's almost like watching a close friend get hit by a school bus. I don't have a personal connection. I did not have a personal connection to Snow White, to her character, to the film, and really to
Mhm.
Disney, except old Disney. I feel like I respect Walt Disney so much as a man, as a creator, as a businessman. And he inspired so many incredible young creatives that have grown up and given us great stuff today as well. But to see his work completely torn apart like this is absolutely disheartening. Uh, but there's just simply it's just simply hard to narrow down and discern what possibly led us to this point where we find ourselves in a place where talent itself has lost its mind, where people do not know what's simply right and what's simply wrong. And we're going to go into that in great detail. Before we get into like the movie itself, I want to talk about the original Snow White a little bit because like a lot of younger audiences, it might have passed your radar. It might have slipped right under there. If it weren't for this film, I wouldn't have even bothered to see it. Just because I'm not a guy that's interested in the princess stories, right? I never cared for seeing that growing up. I liked the weird stuff. I liked Cartoon Network. I liked SpongeBob. I was not into the princesses stuff. But to young women, those are inspiring role models. And I imagine Cami, do you think was that sort of part of your upbringing? Were you sort of into the princess seed more so than the
I
weird stuff?
mean, I was into it a little bit. I was never super into it, but I always loved Snow White because she had such a pure heart, and she was just that's why all the animals loved her, and it's really a genuine and cool story.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw the original? Have you seen it recently?
Oh man, it's got to be like couple years. It's been a couple, like quite a few, maybe a decade actually.
A decade? Jeez.
I know it's been a
You
while
didn't
since I
warm
watched
up and
it.
watch the original. Come on.
I really wish I had before I went to the theater, but I remember a lot of it. So I was, which kind of made me disappointed in the ending of this movie, but we can get to that later. Just
Yeah.
how much they veered off of it, you know?
Yeah, it's surprising, like, for this being like a remake, it's kind of a completely different story. I mean, they really veer off the path of the original quite a
Yeah.
few times over, and they're pretty different, like pretty different choices they make, and none of them are for the better, really. I don't think there was a single creative decision they made that veered from the original that was a better decision. I mean, if you're gonna go out of your way to remake this timeless classic, you better have a reason, and it better be good. And the reason was they wanted some money. They wanted to put this under their brand again, so nobody else can steal Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And that's about it. There wasn't really too much. There obviously was not a creative decision to enhance this character. It was not made. There was not a single creative decision made here that could possibly be led to believe that it was heading in a better direction than what it was. I think I saw this. I was actually kind of surprised. In my theater, there was quite a few people in there. I kept seeing stuff about like people posting about how, all the theaters, they're completely empty on the premiere. There's quite a few people in my theater. It was probably, I mean, it wasn't like a lot, but it was probably like 15 or 20. And they were all little kids. And I got to tell you, at all of these, like all the scenes where they were trying to be funny, the dwarves trying to be funny, she's having some sort of repertoire with the new lizard boy who's supposed to be Prince Charming. They didn't laugh a single time. Nobody laughed at all. It was embarrassing. And these poor dwarves, we'll get into that later. They were one of the biggest issues overall with this film, in my opinion. I think they
Yeah.
it was like it's like watching somebody wear the skin of someone else, like full top to bottom. Those were not the dwarves we grew up watching. Those were not those sweet, heartwarming, motivating little dwarves. Absolutely not. I don't.
Oh,
Again,
no.
it's just let me hear your take a little bit. So I want to talk about the original film just a little bit before we get into the nitty gritty, because there is so much to say about this, guys. Acolyte level cringe. Acolyte. I do not say it lightly. I personally have never cared about Snow White in my life until I watched the movie, which I did gain I gained some respect for her. And I gained a lot of respect for Walt Disney and creating this, because it's an inspiring story of how he got this film made, because there was nothing really like it before. It was a groundbreaking tale. Just him as a businessman and the story itself. And so yeah, Cammie, what are your thoughts on the original film, if you have any?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the original film was heartwarming. It was the first, just seeing the purity of her and her interaction with the dwarves. All these things are really iconic. So it's like seeing the contrast of this was so hard to watch, especially the dwarves in this. They are like the downfall of the entire movie, I feel. But
I didn't see that coming. I did not imagine that these dwarves would be like the continuous thorn in your ass that just bothered you the whole time you were sitting down and watching this. I thought it'd be Rachel for sure. It was her. It was definitely her. It was like a horrifying nightmare in front of you, but you were also being like tortured from the back as well. And it just did not stop. It was endless, and in all the different senses too. And I'm not exaggerating. This is not an exaggeration. So I don't know. But as for me, like, because I wanted to do some research about Snow White and about this story, because obviously this was a monumental film. Like I said, it was the first full-length feature animated film. Back in 1937, it's so long ago. It's unbelievable he was able to do this. And if you watch it today, it still looks pretty good. It still looks great. And the audio is incredible. I think listening to the singing back then, the songs, and Prince Charming singing even was inspiring itself. and it's really it had an authenticity that I haven't really seen replicated at all lately. Not even really in musicals. It was just really rich, especially from his side of things, which I don't think people tend to think about. But Snow White itself, she was, I mean, absolutely beautiful voice, beautiful character, super innocent, and you can just tell in the original story that the creator puts themselves in these places. They put themselves into these characters. It's like that with art too. That's how I am with my art. When I create a piece, I always end up finding myself in my piece, or I resemble an aspect of myself in everything I do. It's just the way it is. You can't help yourself. And it just showed you the good nature that Walt Disney really had back then, that the modern day creators, including, Rachel Zegler with her performance, just did not bring to the table at all. But, I don't know how many people are familiar with this. The original film, Snow White, it was sort of Walt Disney's saving grace. The company, they gambled everything on this film, on this idea that was just absolutely like impossible back then, to make a whole movie over an hour long. I believe the original is an hour and a half long, fully animated. That is an insane amount of work. If you see how they do it, how they animated these back in the day, they had the backgrounds, and then they had the slides, and they would move the slide for each like pose. And it was just so many little things. It's just impossible to believe they could get that done. And Walt Disney back in the day, he just received mass disapproval. This is a joke. You're a loser. You have no idea what you're doing. You are going to bankrupt this company. Nobody had faith in him. Yet he stuck to it, and he poured his heart out into that film. He mortgaged his home, and he used all of the studio's resources to create that. And look at that. Look at what it became. And because of that, that's where we are with Disney today. Now, I don't believe if he was still here, of course, we would be in a much better place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think there's such a rich story and history to this character. And of course, the Snow White, she goes so much farther back than even Walt Disney himself. I believe he was the one that kind of invented the seven dwarves, wasn't he? Do you know if that was him or not? Because I don't think that was part of the original tale.
Yeah, I don't know if that was or not. I know he did the adaptation of the original tale, but I'm not sure if they were a part of it. But I mean, what a groundbreaking first film. It was Disney's first film, and it was magical, like the art and, like you said, the cartoon. So it just had a unique flair to it.
Yeah, it really did, and here we are, yes, 87 years later, Walt Disney's most prized creation falls into absolute parody. This is just overall, just putting it in layman's terms, this is a botched, dismembered corpse that pretended to be a timeless masterpiece. There's just, it tried so hard to be a masterpiece. It tried so hard to capture that rich, heartwarming determination that the original creator had. It tried so hard to bring to life an inspiring tale of a young girl with humble not even humble beginnings, a young girl who has everything in her life that could, endless resources at her disposal, technically being in the royal family, and putting her through a humbling situation. And it just did not work with her. And at the end of the day, I think, poor Rachel Zegler, but also not poor Rachel Zegler, because she has everything coming for her. And I'm not a big, before seeing this, I was not one of those haters about Rachel Zegler. I understand why nobody likes her, and I agree with a lot of them on most things.
Yeah.
But I thought, maybe that wouldn't lead in this performance, like just being uncomfortable. That did carry through to this performance, in my opinion. I was just incredibly uncomfortable watching her on screen. And I think she was also incredibly uncomfortable wearing this character, as if she was an imposter. Because I felt like this was, it was the equivalent of wearing a Halloween costume to a character that you are nothing like her character. Because she truly felt completely uncomfortable in this character, trying to be this pleasant, loving, humble servant for others. It did not fit her at all. She truly she truly did not express, did not fit this style. And it's not even because of, I think, what we've seen her, say in the media or whatever else, or dumb things she said on social media, but she truly, like, just even looking at her in the movie, it looked like she didn't know what she was doing. Like, she's never experienced these things before. What was your reaction? Just emotional reaction after seeing the movie?
For the movie, oh
Yeah.
gosh, it was weird.
Considering
because,
more so Rachel Zegler.
Oh, Rachel Zegler. Yeah, I mean, at first I thought, okay, her performance is all right. She's a fantastic singer, but as she went on, it's like her expression kept staying the same. She kept giving the same kind of dumbfounded look in her eyes. And I was like, wow, it's the same look every single time. Nothing changed. And it really wasn't exuding the purity of Snow White, just the good heart that she had. So yeah,
no.
it didn't win for me.
I think, like, I wanted to give her, let me pull up another picture here. I always have fun pictures.
Yeah, I like the picture.
You know what? Here, let's just look at something nice at first. Walt Disney with the classics. I think for me, like I said, I didn't go in seeing this particularly with ill will. I went in as a common consumer. I wanted to be entertained. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to go in like I was watching the new Minecraft movie, where it's going to be actually terrible, but you'll have fun. You know what I mean? And you'll laugh at the discomforts. You'll laugh at the the mediocrity, which I'm excited to do with the Minecraft movie. But it was, for me, like, I'm glad you were able to leave and have a smile on your face. I'm having a hard time understanding why, me personally, I reacted the way I did, because I felt like it almost felt personal to me watching this and seeing this, like, truly bastardized, and that doesn't really happen to me very much. And I'm not overreacting. I don't like to give overreacting, emotional, crazy stuff all the time. But here I felt like truly ticked off from this, and kind of like Acolyte. And when I say Acolyte, it's because Star Wars is super personal to me. I love Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars. So many of the great characters, and especially the Clone Wars for me, which I grew up watching more than anything else. They inspired me to become the man I am in a lot of different ways. A lot of the different characters did, and seeing that bastardized really put a damper on my spirits in the whole series altogether. As for this, I really don't care about Disney at all, and I didn't care about her story, but I felt as if we were like young audiences around the world were shamed. We're shamed for believing in tradition. We're shamed in believing in true love, because the story of this, the true love of this Snow White, is it's modern. It's very modern. It's uninspiring, modern, kind of like, it's cringe.
It's not heartfelt. Yeah. It was.
About it?
Oh no, I didn't like it. It was so surface level, and they kind of like put each other down in the middle of the movie. It was really weird. She's like, "No one would mistake you for a knight in shining armor." I'm like, "Geez, what?"
And he wasn't either. He was a loser. No. He was a loser.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were even going to have this whole love. I didn't think they were going to do the love story. It didn't seem like it to me, but they ended up doing it. And there was, like, I think one of the redeeming elements, like the only redeeming element in the whole movie, is when she's singing with him. I kind of liked that. Almost liked it. Did you like it? Did you think it was too much?
Wasn't the hand, when they were at that little, it seemed like a little outdoor picnic, the hand in the hand song?
Uh-huh. It was kind of cute, almost.
It was kind of cute. It was cute. It was the moment they were trying to build them, but it wasn't as powerful as it could have been.
No.
But that was definitely an add-in scene that I was like, what is going on? But
I think like I just watched, like I said, I just watched the original Snow White, and I remember when I watched it the first time, Prince Charming, I've never really seen a lot of these Disney princess movies, and I really don't care to see them either, because it's not made for me, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. I think great stories for young girls to aspire to be like these great women. No problem at all. It's not for me. It's simply the way. But you know what? When I saw Prince Charming, I think it's Prince Charming, right? I mean, it's Snow White. It's got to be Prince Charming, right? Or is that
Yeah.
Cinderella?
Oh, well, it might be Cinderella, but I know his name's Jonathan. I was trying to think of it
I don't know
too.
what his title is. Well, it's the
I
dude,
know.
right? It's the lover boy in the original Snow White.
Yes.
He sang with like this confidence and this like this authentic like this authentic passion. Like there was real passion there in an animated character all those years ago,
Mhm.
87 years ago. And I was immediately I was on his side. I'm like, man, you go for it, bro. I love what you're doing. This is awesome. You get it, bro. And wow, this guy, I wanted him gone immediately. I did not care about him one bit. No young man is going to aspire to be this guy. And unfortunately, I know way too many guys that look and act just like him. It's
Oh
very
man.
modern, kind of douche lizard boy. That's what I kept calling him, the lizard boy. I don't know why. He just kind of looks like a lizard.
He
But
was really wimpy. Just a very, I mean, I don't know, something about his demeanor was just not strong at all, you know? There's no passion there. Like you said, the animated character had passion when he sang to her, and this guy was just kind of there.
yeah, it was really lacking. It was yeah. How did you feel about like the chemistry between him and Rachel Zegler?
Oh gosh. I don't know if they had much, to be honest. Did you feel a lot of chemistry? Because I didn't really feel it.
Oh no, hell no.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think there was any chemistry there.
No, there wasn't any at all. I really almost think the casting was bad on that part. I mean, we all know Rachel, you know, we got her in the role, but I don't think he was a strong choice for the,
No,
yeah.
yeah. Here we go. There's the original Prince Charming. So much better.
I
I
know,
love
and
that.
was he even a bandit? In this one he's a bandit.
Yeah, I know. That was so funny. So like I know everyone here probably is going to watch tons of videos about this because it's such a hot topic. Reasonably so too. I mean, this is literally not underscoring it, acolyte. This is acolyte, but Disney's acolyte, truly. But yeah, those wanderers, you know, the magical forest people that were prancing around. We finally got to learn who they are. And it turns out they were not supposed to be the replacement for the seven dwarves. They are their own thing. I called them the forest wanderers. This is them. Of course, you know, this picture went nuclear viral when it first released. Everyone was grilling this film so hard because it looked like, let's see, you got 2, 4, 6. You have 7. I mean, there's 7 there. And they didn't want to
Yep.
hire, you know, it was so confusing for them to hire dwarf actors or whatever else to play the roles. Completely reasonably so why they thought this was going to be the replacement, because this is the most modern thing you could possibly come up with if you want to make you know, the seven dwarves in like modern time.
I know. I felt like their outfits were kind of obnoxious too. Like I was just looking at them like, oh, I don't like the design here at all.
These guys, I mean, they were true bums. They didn't none of them really, they didn't have any original thoughts. They were sort of they really obstructed the film. Like they come out of nowhere and then they kind of just get in the way of things, and they're like the Prince Charming of this film, who I call Lizard Boy. I don't have a picture of him. He I didn't recognize that actor at all, but these are his companions, and they're all a bunch of what did you call them? Bandits? Yeah, they were
Yeah,
bandits.
bandits.
And they, you know, ruffians, they, you know, they bat against society, they bat against the man. And they're off on their own. This is when the story really like goes off the rails, is when
Oh
these guys
yeah.
get involved. So obviously not part of the original story. And I think they were sort of just thrown in there to bring Snow White back to the dwarves. So then she could eat the apple, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys were not fun. They were pretty dumb. I liked the short guy in the front. I thought he was decent. I was thinking
Yeah.
if he played one of the dwarves, he would have been infinitely better than any of those animated monstrosities.
Oh my gosh, Jackson, that's what I was thinking. If only like they had actually cast real actors. I mean, I know everybody said it, but when you're watching the movie, you're like, this movie would have been elevated so much more had they done that.
Yeah, really. I know it's so funny. Like, I guess we could get to that right now actually because I think the dwarves were I don't think people understand just how off these dwarves were because watching uh like seeing like the trailers for it and everything, it does not do it justice in this movie because these dwarves, they're like, like there's something about trying to wait, here we go. Yep, that's a good image. There's something about trying to like manufacture
Oh,
a human being, like completely CGI a human because these are humans. I mean, dwarves are humans, right? I mean, it's a person. At the end of the day, I guess they are human. I mean, they're supposed to be human.
yeah. They've got,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, you look at this picture and you're like, well, they're hideous, but it's not that bad. But there is just like, I think there's something. I feel like this is like part of our own, like, our own psychology, our own brain that tells us when something's off, wrong, and you should not be in a place where this is, where you are. It's like fight or flight. I felt like this was like fight or flight the entire film. Truly, watching these dwarves, they're very prevalent. They're always there, and they're trying to be funny. They're, of course they're personifications of, quite a few different emotions. What is there? There's dopey, there's Doc, there's sneezy, there's sleepy, there's grumpy, and then there's bashful. I think I might have gotten all of them, which I can't believe
Yeah.
I remembered them. First of all, looking at them here, you probably couldn't tell who's who at all. They were really nothing like their animated counterparts. They didn't really, none of them really stuck out. They all acted pretty much the same. They all pretty much looked the same too.
Yeah.
But
They do.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah. You want to tell us about the dwarves, Kevin? I
oh
want to hear
no.
you
I
talk.
just half of them like
Nobody wants to hear me babble the whole
no,
time. You
I
gotta tell
want to
me.
hear you. I feel like half of them were lost because we didn't know who they were. It's like they made, you know, what is it? His name? The one who's upset all the time. I'm sorry, my dog's
Grumpy.
barking. Grumpy. They made him like prominent, and then
Oh gosh, if you wanna help your dog, I can talk about Grumpy for a
so
second.
yeah, she's just starting.
Grumpy, Grumpy. Oh my gosh, they did our boy so bad. Grumpy. I think like Grumpy was like the only like kind of like traditionally masculine dwarf of all these guys. Like he stuck to his guns. He was strong-willed. He had really no fear at all. They chopped his balls off in this. They really did. Poor Grumpy was neutered in this. But I think what was really like surprising to me when I saw this was Grumpy. He had this high-pitched voice. Oh, I'll get you for that, Snow White. I mean, he sounded like he was neutered more than the other dwarves. None of the other dwarves talked like that. He had a high pitched voice, and he of course was grumpy the whole time. As for me, like looking at these guys, the one that freaked me out the most, and literally, like I felt like I could vomit just watching this character, was Dopey.
Oh my
Dopey
gosh.
was freaky. Dopey was freaky as hell. This was a very weird character. There was something about this one compared to the others because I think the others, they're more fantastical, right? I mean, look at these guys: giant noses, funny looking eyes and such, big ears. Dopey was like the one that looked most like a person, and something weird about Dopey too is he talks in this. Did you know that? Wow, Dopey finally talks, everybody. Isn't that awesome? We're breaking new ground.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
It turns out that Dopey, like, there's sort of a narrator guiding the story here, and it was Dopey all along. I remember when I started watching the film, I heard the narration, and I was like, "Ew, what is this narrated voice?" Like, this wasn't cool. It did not sound it had no bravado. It wasn't. It was not. It was not a narrating voice. It was like you take some 14-year-old off the street, pay him $10, and read a couple lines. And then it turns out it's Dopey. Oh, it's so sweet. She got Dopey to talk. Oh, she's heavenly. But Cammy, why don't you tell us about these dwarves and maybe what freaked you out the most about them?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the dwarves came in, I feel like this is when the movie really started to tank. And I like literally, I said ew in the theater when I first watched them. I was like, ew, what? My face was like doing all sorts of things. So they're just very cringy. Like the animation is awful. I've never seen such bad design. And then, like I said, half of them get kind of lost. Like they highlight, I think, Dopey, Doc, and the angry one. I keep forgetting his name. And
Grumpy.
then the rest are Grumpy. And then everybody else is just kind of whatever, But yeah, I think they really like hurt the movie, but obviously. And I didn't like the Dopey plot line. Did you?
No, it was weird. The Dopey plot line. Yeah, Dopey, so the Dopey plot line in this, because he probably gets the most attention out of all of them, which I think is kind of reasonably so, because you remember Dopey the best. I mean, he's the bald, the ugliest, baldest, most awkward dwarf of all of them, which is, I like. Of course, you could recognize him. He sticks out. But in this, Snow White kind of singles him out because he's sort of bullied by everybody, and he's super shy and he can't talk. Unlike the first one where he's like literally mute and he literally can't talk. He's just kind of shy, and he's always being put down by the other dwarves, and Snow White just kind of gives him special treatment the whole time, which is like, okay, good for you. Poor Dopey needs a boost. But it was really strange seeing him becoming more comfortable. And I think like you mentioned, the animation was like, I don't know if you said bad or something like that, but it was just like off. I think the animation, I think they are horrifying like creatures that they created, but I think I think they're well done. But I mean, I just don't know how you can do this right if you're just going to CGI these things. I thought it didn't look, they looked like real life creatures. I thought it was, but they were not dwarves. They were not people. And, Hobbit did that once in Battle of the Five Armies when Thorin and all the dwarves, they're under siege by the river people, Bard and his guys, as well as the elves, and then all the different orc armies show up, and then I believe it's Dane. Dane shows up on his hog. It's like literally a big pig, and he's riding, and he comes in, and for whatever reason they CGI'd that character. That was not a real person. That Dane did not exist, and it looked really weird. It did not look this bad though. This looks way worse than Dane. Do you know who I'm talking about? Do you remember that?
So it's Hobbit. I don't remember The Hobbit as well because I'm like more crazy about Lord of the Rings, but I'm sure it looked bad. I didn't really care for the Hobbit movies that much.
Well, I didn't either. I rewatched, just real quick off topic, I rewatched all three of them just because I wanted to, and my pops and we had a good time watching them, and clearly they were way worse. They have, I don't know if anybody knows, they have the extended editions on Max, and the extended editions in the first two are terrible. Or no, not the first two. They only have the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug, because the first one I think was already, like the one you got was what everyone saw. The second one was extended with deleted scenes. Deleted scenes are really bad. They were deleted for a reason. They're really bad. And then the third one, it has amazing deleted scenes. I don't know why they cut it out. I'm not kidding. It's like Hobbit was rated R with those deleted scenes. Wow. Insane action. I couldn't believe it. It was like we were watching a totally different movie. I was thinking, my pops and we were watching, were like, this is incredible. And I remember I posted about it on X, and people were trashing me because I was hyping up, Battle of the Five Armies. Nobody likes that one either. And I completely understand that. But if you watch these deleted scenes, you could just look them up on YouTube. They're really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, they look great. That. And check that out. Or I'll rewatch the whole movie. But back on topic. All right, out of these dwarves, were there any of them you liked? Like, Did you feel
Oh
connected
gosh.
to Doc
Not
or
Doc was
Bashful?
probably
I
the
don't even know which one Bashful is looking at these guys.
I have no idea. I think I feel like Happy, I know who Happy is, but did you
Oh,
notice?
Happy's one too. I didn't see
Yeah,
a Happy one. Which one was Happy?
I don't know. He
None of
might
them
be the
seemed
green
happy.
hat, right? He wasn't overtly happy, which is kind of sad, should fit his name.
Yeah.
Um, I just did you notice some of the dialogue though? Because like even when Dopey started whistling for the first time, one of the dwarves was like, he sounds like a baby angel. I was like, what?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
They kept
Weird
saying these,
dialogue.
yeah, it's like really weird dialogue throughout the movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know who wrote this. It was yeah, I mean that's got to be one of the biggest faults. Definitely the biggest fault of the dwarves too. These dwarves were not
Oh,
funny at all. I
mm-mm.
thought I was surprised when I watched the first one. I was cackling. It was funny. It was surprisingly funny. Even for me, 23 years old, a dude, I thought it was funny. And Snow White was funny too. Prince Charming was funny, if that's who that was. They were all funny.
Yep.
This wasn't funny at all. My gosh. And I just felt like it was sort of like something funny about these dwarves. I had the feeling that they were watching us. Did you kind of have that feeling? Like they were watching us while we
Yeah.
were watching them. It felt
And
like they literally were just staring at us through the screen. It's inexplicable. It's hard to describe. If you see it yourself, you'll know what I'm talking about.
yep. I think it's because the CGI looks so terrible up close. Like you see that they tried to add details to their face, but it's almost really unrealistic looking. So it does feel like this weird humanoid looking at you.
Well, I thought I didn't get that feeling. I thought they looked good CGI wise. I thought they
Really?
looked detailed. Maybe I wasn't looking close enough.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. You see, oh wait, no, you go to AMC, right?
I do go to AMC,
Okay, well
yeah.
AMC is good. If you said Regal, then this would be different.
Right,
But
right. I think I just don't like the design. They just don't look real to me.
no, this is a good picture to look at too, though. Yeah, I mean, if anyone in the chat can like leave a chat saying who each one of these are, left to right, number
Right.
them. Good for you, man. I'll respect you forever. Because let's see, who could I name? Doc is obviously the one in the middle. Dopey, blue hat, Grumpy to his right, and then Sleepy there. I don't know the rest of the three, so if you can figure that out, good for you guys.
Yeah, the rest of them are not distinguishable.
No,
I think
no.
Happy's behind Sleepy, but the other two on the far right, who knows?
Yeah, who are those guys? Well, do you have anything else you want to say about the dwarves before we move on?
I don't know. They're just, I mean, again, I just noticed the dialogue mainly with them. They would say these weird things like when Sleepy offers, he's like, "Do you want some hot milk?" He just says it
Oh
randomly in the middle
yeah.
of the scene. I'm like, what is this?
Like I said, like the kids, were there kids in your theater when you
No,
saw this?
no kids. And
Nobody?
one guy fell asleep. I heard him snoring.
Oh man. Good for him. Him and
Yeah,
Sleepy. They get along well. Yeah,
right.
I think it's bad. It's a bad test if you got a bunch of kids in your audience and they don't laugh and they don't applaud, they don't cheer. The kids were not cheering. They were not happy. I remember this. There
Uh-uh.
was this little girl sitting behind me, and I just heard her, obviously, but she was genuinely concerned about Snow White several times. I'm like, okay, well, that's nice, If only you knew who she really was. But yeah, it's gonna show. When I
Yeah.
went to the theater to get my tickets, I always talk to this guy at the front desk. I love him. He's awesome. I've seen him ever since I was young at the theater, the ticket guy, and I talked to him about films. And he was not excited about this, clearly. And he was talking about, he was amazed how this little girl went up to him and was roasting Rachel Zegler, talking about how she really looked like Lord Farquaad. And it was funny hearing him say that a little child was saying that. You know what I mean? This girl probably doesn't hear any of the scuttlebutt online, right? She's probably just going in, raw reaction, saying what she's thinking. And it's like, that's, you know what? Maybe the kids of tomorrow have a chance if she was able to diagnose that herself. Good for her, because it was true. And this is going to sound terrible, but I could not stop thinking Rachel Zegler in this really looked like Smeagol. She really did.
Oh,
Like I was looking at her, and I think when she sang, let me see if I have a picture of her singing.
like Smeagol.
When she, let me see. I have a hard time with the sharing screen, so bear with me, people,
Yeah, yeah.
because I want to. Let's look up. We'll look up Rachel Zegler singing first. there was something funny. Like she has like you said, Cammy, she sort of has these odd sort of like quippy expressions that she uses like over and over again.
Yeah.
And her singing, when she sings, I hate to say it, she's not a pretty singer. Not a very pretty singer, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it wasn't princess quality as much.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can. All right, I'll try to pull it up. Where's Smeagol?
Jackson, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the beginning, though. Or did you find any merit in the opening of the film or any of that?
Oh no, I thought it was
No.
terrible right off the bat. Oh yeah, well I think like something I'll share the screen in a second. But something funny about the opening that scared me immediately was that the parents were like talking about their little girl Snow White, and they were saying that she's like, well, let me see, I wrote it down. I wish I could have written down the exact line because it was like I literally just went, oh, when I heard this out loud. What was it? Oh yeah. So the parents were talking about how they were going to raise her to one day leading others. We will lead. Our daughter will lead in our stead. I mean, they were literally saying that. I'm like, oh, bruh, come on.
I
All right,
know.
here we go.
Foreshadowing.
Can you
Wasn't
see
it
that, Cammy? Can you see this?
I can, yes.
Oh, good. It worked. Okay.
It worked.
Let's see if I can pull her up singing. Rachel Zegler singing. Yeah, there's a good example. Or, these aren't that bad. I wish I could show you the movie because the movie had so many memeable faces. Okay, now I'm going to show you Smeagol.
Oh, during a Smeagol Rachel comparison.
Look at that. Can't you see it? I see it. She literally at the very end she delivered a Smeagol line too. Let me pull it up. Where was it?
She said, like that's heightened.
She said, oh yeah, she literally said, leave now and never come back. She said that at the very end to the queen.
Did.
I just like, thank you.
Yeah, she did
You affirmed my thinking.
Can you click that second picture? That is a look she gives in the film, though.
This one? Yeah.
She literally, like, it's this kind of buggy-eyed look at times.
This one. Oh, it's too small.
I know.
Yeah, he's got a lot. Oh, there we go. Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. And you know what? Her voice was nice. She had a nice singing voice. I think she sounded good, but she didn't really seem invested in her character.
No.
Like, it didn't seem like she was really interested in being there.
Yeah, I don't think she went deep with the character at all. It's like you watch the first half hour and you think, okay, she's doing her performance, and then it just stays one note. So you're like, oh, she didn't go very deep with this character.
Yeah, which is weird because I thought she'd have like a lot of pride in this, because this is a huge shot. I mean, she's not like, have you seen her in anything before this?
I don't think I have, actually.
Did you watch West Side Story?
No.
No.
Did you?
I guess that's her big one. No, I'm not going to either. Unless I do love Spielberg though, so it's a little tempting. But no, I haven't. This is my introduction to her, and I don't like hating on people. This is. I'm being mean. I'm sorry. I'm being mean, but I'm just being honest. This is the way it is. This is, and she made the choices that she made in this. And if she really cared, she could have acted differently. She could have played a different character here. So I don't know. I think let's take a little break and let's talk to our chat. Thanks everybody for talking to us. It'd be good to just settle down and listen to you guys for a minute. So Eric Power. Well, this ought to be good. Yep. It's getting heated, Eric.
Oh, hi, Eric. Thanks for joining.
Ooh, Aiden Trainer. Yes. Peter Dinklage should have been casted. Oh, well, you know what, buddy? I think this is my buddy Aiden. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining me.
Oh.
He was like a big reason why short actors weren't casted, actually.
I know.
Do you know about that story? Could you explain it, Cammy?
I do. Didn't he is the one who criticized them, right? Or said it was insulting to have little people
Dwarf
represented
actors,
as dwarves. Yeah, but to me, that's what shot it. I just would have loved to see some real life dwarfs. And I'm wondering if the bandits were really supposed to be them, though.
I don't know.
And they had to rewrite it.
Yeah, maybe they just saved themselves when they put them in as like a different role at the end. That would be hilarious if they were actually the dwarves, and then they saw the backlash, and then they gutted all of their scenes as the dwarves or whatever, and instead put them in as these like extras. That'd be so funny.
I
Thank you
know.
for joining us, buddy. It's good to see you. Wishing you the best. Andreas Schelsback. Ryan with the forehead talked about it 2 years ago. Who's that? Ryan with the forehead. I don't know who that is. You know what? He probably did. That it would be bandits. Oh, so he knew. Good guy. He's a smart guy, Andreas. Oh, Andreas. Duh. My bad. Good evening, y'all. We love you, Brown Eyes. Thanks for joining us, man. What's so boggling is casting a little person / dwarf, whatever, as a bandit, but not as the actual 7 dwarves. And you know what?
Right?
So someone else mentions it in the chat here, because I saw it earlier, that they asked if he was like paired up to one of the actual 7 dwarves. They were paired up. They were there.
They were there. They were together.
And the 7 dwarf was way bigger than him. Like, it was like a lot wider than him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was so funny looking at those two. And it was like, wow, the shorter guy who's a real person was so much better. And I liked seeing him. He was great. He was actually probably the only decent role in this whole movie, truthfully.
Yeah.
I did not mind him. He was okay. He wasn't cringe. He had fun.
He had some depth and character to him, at least. He was a little bit raw.
Gosh, this movie makes me sigh. I was sighing out loud. I was sitting there. I don't know.
I know, right? See, now I just got giggles at it because I thought it was so stupid that I just laughed at it.
Maybe, you know what? A lot of people can probably feel that way. No little person in the world would like the dwarves in the German tales. Would look like the dwarves in the German tales. I don't know the German tales, Andreas. I don't know them. So I guess maybe they were in the original Snow White story then.
Oh, maybe.
Brown Eyes. I can't believe you went to suffer through this. Yep. Just for this, guys. We wanted to talk about it, and truly acolyte level stuff. Damn, they got some big hits. They do. Lego Man.
Yeah.
They were freaky in person.
They're hard to watch.
They what?
They're hard to watch,
They are hard to watch.
I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Do you know how to describe it? Like, it's almost like, I don't know.
It's hard to describe.
How do you because it's a truly disturbing sight. Like, there's something really off when you look at them.
Yeah, there is. And just the way they act and the way they move and their facial expressions are very unnatural. It's hard to watch.
It was so forced. It
was.
Sierra Mauricio. Haha, they add more details to look more out of reality. Yeah. Yeah, it would have been better if they gave it animation from 20 plus years ago. Just make it look fake. Chalk Smack. That looks like a creepy George Martin. One of those definitely did. Probably Doc. LOL. Yes, sir. Don't insult him like that. All right. When Rachel walked in stage with Godot by the Oscars, it was like watching a bobblehead. Everything was flailing like a little girl. Oh gosh.
Aww.
Poor Rachel. She the bob did not suit her well in this.
No, it didn't. You can tell the reshoots too because it looked like a wig for part. I think the bandit forest scene was totally added on.
Wait, the what?
The forest scene with the bandits.
Oh gosh.
It looked like a reshoot to me.
Gosh, let me put them back on here. We need to talk about that. Good. I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, these bandits, they show up and in contrast to the original story, the queen sends a bunch of guards, like an army after Snow White. And she runs into these guys and it's a bunch of buffoons uniting together. Probably, I don't know what kind of skills these guys have. Actually, I don't think they have any skills. I think these guys are just normal civilians, like a baker and a laundromat person or something. I don't know. These guys were I think they had normal jobs before this. These were not soldiers. These were not elite mercenaries. Just normal people. And they put up a good fight against this army of trained soldiers that came in. The shorter guy here, he literally said that they were outnumbered 2-1. And they held off the guards pretty well. Not a scratch, on these guys. And the knights, they had swords. They were trying to kill these guys. They wanted to kill them. They were swiping their swords at them, and they didn't. Not a scratch on these guys. And somehow they ended up kind of. Actually, did they best of the day? I can't remember.
I mean, it was weird because they kind of went in a circle. Like they distracted them, and then they were off. I don't know how that whole scene fit together because it felt very disjointed.
Yeah. You might be right about that entry. Like they just added all of that because it was
Yeah.
totally random. It did
It-
not. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, like I can't even remember it. Like you said, I'm trying to recall. Like they battled them a little bit, then Snow White got the upper hand on them, but I don't remember how.
Yeah. I want to remind me if I don't bring it up
Yeah.
that I want to talk about how she plays like a brave character in this because that's also like one of the cringiest elements of this whole film.
Yeah.
But she oh no, what was I originally gonna say? Crap, I had something. Uh Gosh.
I can't believe I can't remember that scene. It just left my mind too. What did she do? She was kind
Okay,
of
I
like
guess we could just talk about that. So
yeah.
towards the end, the love interest isn't part of this funny band of people here. Unfortunately, I wish I had a good picture of him, but he is like he's not in this picture. He is part of the band. He's with them, but he's not in this image. The Prince Charming in this. Well, he talks about later on how he was. I mean, he was able to escape prison because he was so inspired by Snow White's strength in joining them on the fight. She fought right alongside them against those guards. She was part of the army. She scared them off. Boy, oh boy, she didn't do nothing. She got on her horse and she pounced around, fleed a little bit, and kind of went on a wild goose chase around the forest. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow that inspired Prince Charming to escape the clutches of the evil queen. And when he delivered that line, how he was like, oh, he said something like, I could never get out of this prison if it weren't for the bravery of Snow White. And then he finally gives it his all and he escapes. He escapes the clutches because of her bravery. And it's like, bruh, that did not
No,
work.
it did not work. And I don't even think she did anything that valiant or great in this movie at all. If they were trying to do that, they failed at it.
Yeah. Can we reference like a single time where she did something where you were like, hey, I like that. I respect that.
Yeah.
Like anything stick out to you?
No, I mean, I can only remember her getting on that horse, like you just said. And then the end, she goes into the city, but it's like supposed to be this powerful moment, and it's not.
Oh,
She doesn't have a plan, It felt like she didn't have a plan.
Yeah. So like, why don't you explain the end for a minute?
Yeah, the end is really confusing to me because she goes to meet the queen. They've changed the ending. And she winds up like what? The guards attack her, but then she reminds them of who they were. Like, you had a cherry picking farm and you let the townspeople pick cherries there. So you're not a bad guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And
I
then
mean, these guys have been dealing with the queen for quite a long time now. And then out of nowhere, they're like, "Oh, I'm a good guy after all."
yeah, that's what it was. That was her big plan, was to remind them. And they said, I remember who I was.
I thought it was like, for her like rising up against like the evil queen in the end, like she did. Like the way this worked, everybody was she she I don't remember what the dwarves actually did. The dwarves kind of went off on their own towards the end. I think they kind of cornered the queen somehow, but she went off to the kingdom where she grew up, and the queen is running the show. And she starts singing a song with all the civilians, and they like her for some reason. They sing along, and then all of them march together to meet the evil queen, sort of at like her doorstep, and she's guarded by like 6 or 7 different armed guards. And at that point in time, she starts to like, one of them is about to kill her, and the queen gives him this like magical knife, and she tells him to massacre her. So he was really about to do it, and then she says his name, Luke. Luke, remember, you have a wife and a child. You baked the best breads in the world back in the day, and you fed the hungry. And then he just snaps out of it there. He's like, I was good. And then she calls the other guy by name, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so magical." And then he gives it up, and then the other one, and then the other one. They all just fall apart right there, as if like their whole life they haven't been working for her, thinking totally different and being completely okay with their actions up until that point.
Right. And that changes everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Gosh,
such a weak ending.
it
Well, and
was.
Jackson, can you remind me the ending in the original, wasn't it? It was storming and didn't she fall off a cliff or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. I know
Yeah.
it was like I'm trying to remember how she even got on that cliff because I remember seeing that it was storming, she's on a cliff, and then like I think lightning strikes the rocks and she falls down and dies. I kind of
Yeah.
liked the way she died in this. She like cowers over to the magical mirror, and then I think she asks it one final time if who's the fairest of them all, and then it says it's Snow White again, and then she freaks out, she destroys the mirror, and then out of nowhere she starts turning into ashy stuff, and then she falls apart into the mirror. It's like a dimension or something, and then she's a bunch of ash. She goes away, blows away into the endless, desolate black hole, and then the mirror just shapes back again, and we see the beautiful Snow White glowing, glowing in perfection in the mirror, the fairest of them all. And then she walks into the kingdom where she was, put down her whole life, and she is, everyone kneels like my queen, my princess.
Yeah. I didn't understand the ending, honestly. I know you said you liked it, but what actually killed the
Oh well.
queen?
Oh wait. Okay, sorry.
No,
I didn't
wait.
mean it. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're good. I was just wondering how the queen actually, like, I know she died, but did the mirror kill her? Did she kill herself because she got mad? I don't know.
Yeah. Why would the mirror kill her? Why? Yeah. Why? How does that have the power to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Cammy, you want to answer some chats real quick? I want to pull up an image here.
Oh yeah. Let's keep the chat.
I want to pull up my thumbnail.
Yeah, I really wish they would have kept the original ending in there.
Yeah. I didn't mind her. Like, I don't know. I didn't mind the mirror breaking and her like falling apart. That's
Yeah.
something else that I hope. Like, I think everybody's gonna end up mentioning it. Is that the Gal Gadot in this was terrible. I thought she was terrible. Did you think she was good
No, I thought she was okay in the beginning, and then
in
it
the
just
beginning?
got bad. It
Yep.
it was her facial expressions were so exaggerated during some of the songs. I was just like, what is happening?
I
Um,
think
yeah.
she like. I think once she started singing, that's when it really fell apart. Which is so sad because I was excited about her. I thought she looked just like the evil queen. I mean, she
She
looked just like
does.
her, and they end up giving her more of like a classical look, like halfway through the movie. And you see the old lady version of her like this, which I thought was kind of lame. It didn't look very good.
I didn't like the CGI on that, the older version.
Nah. Oh well, I think it was just a whole different old lady actress.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I think so. Like we didn't get to see this big, fat, ugly nose. I would have liked to have seen that. They could have made her more ghastly and gaunt, but they didn't.
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity. But yeah, I think like her, like when I was watching it, Rachel Zegler's like musical performance was not inspiring at all right off the bat.
Mm.
I just knew that it wasn't going to get much better than this. I did like it when she was smiling and singing. I thought it was a little better.
Yeah.
Her like dramatic side of it was lacking, and it wasn't I don't know, it didn't I didn't feel for her character at those times. But wow, I didn't realize how bad it would get when Gal Gadot started singing.
Oh
Boy,
no.
because I thought she was good as Wonder Woman. I liked her as Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
But everybody hates on her for the second Wonder Woman, and she had some pretty bad one-liners there. But she was oof. She should not be singing. Nope.
No,
Nope.
it was bad. What was the song "All Is Fair When You're the Fairest"? And she's like singing at the Huntsman. I was like, oh.
Oh, it was cringe. It was straight up cringe.
It was cringy. I was watching it like, this is too much. But I mean, I could see where they're going with it. You know, she was being really expressive, but it just didn't. It just got progressively worse with each song, though. Like that song was okay, and then it just got worse.
She was like a real parody of the evil queen in the original one. I don't think she sang at all, and then they had her singing in this, which really didn't make her look very menacing at all, which is disappointing. The
No,
original one was pretty freaky. I mean, she was scary. She freaked
she
me out.
was.
She freaked me out.
She was very ominous. And even as an older lady, she sang a little bit when she was going out of the castle, and I was like, oh boy.
Oh gosh, poor Gal Gadot. Nothing against
know.
her. That was a rough one for her. I thought she'd be leading this movie, but she didn't really.
No, the only scene I liked with her and Snow White was at the beginning when she was having dinner. It was really quiet and you could just hear her.
Oh yeah, that was all right.
Yeah, that was okay.
Here,
That's probably the best scene for me in the movie.
Let's see here. All right, I'm just trying to pull up some new pictures. We'd like to switch it up with good pictures here, guys. Makes it more interesting. I don't like it when there's streams and they don't have a picture here. Like when I watch other people stream, I think it's fun. I don't know what it is, like listening to them and then just looking at the picture and like analyzing the picture. I think they kind of, I don't know, they give it a visual taste. I'm a weirdo that actually likes watching streams. I don't just listen. I like watching.
Yeah.
Like I'll put Drinker on the TV and watch sometimes.
I know. I like watching streams too. I like to see them.
Yeah,
like to see their expressions.
Oh yeah, and you know what, Cammie here, she's very optimistic, and I'm an optimistic person, which is fun to have us together. But neither of us have given really any optimistic insight into this. I mean, do you have anything positive to say?
I mean, they're
dig deep down and give us something positive if you can.
I think they made a cool stylistic choice after the huntsman was about to kill her. Did you like that at all when she was in the woods and it was kind of red and everything was coming to life? I thought that was kind of interesting.
What scene was that?
When he was about to kill Snow White, and then they went picking apples, and then she ran into the forest, and it was scary for her.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene. The huntsman wasn't bad. He was all right.
The huntsman was cool. I mean, you have to really like think about what made an impact, you know?
I liked the scene where there's this young girl and she's singing along with Snow White towards the end. I thought that was nice. Okay, there you go. The animals are cute animals. The turtle, I like the turtle. I think they did a good job. For whatever reason, when I watched the first Snow White, the turtle really stuck out when I was watching the tortoise. I don't know. It has this. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, well, you don't know. You haven't seen the old one.
I haven't, recently. But I love that you said the turtle came back. Like they brought him back.
It was the same one in live action form. That was fun.
That's funny.
Yeah. Here, let's answer some of these chats real quick. Let's see. Where did we leave off, guys? Let's see. That it would be bandits. No little person in the world. I can't believe you went this over. Damn. Okay. Let's see. That looks like creepy George Martin. When Rachel. Oh, yep. Another flop from Rachel Zegler. Weird. Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you kind of brought that up because I didn't think this was a politically charged film at all. And I was kind of worried about that at first. It didn't seem like that to me. Did you feel like it was kind of politically charged or sort of like a message?
No, I didn't feel that at all. I mean, I know Rachel kind of portrayed it like, oh, she's becoming the leader she can be, but I don't even think that was strong in there. It pretty much, I mean, it had all the other elements in it, you know, like getting kissed by the prince and waking up, but, you know, I didn't see any messaging. It just seemed muddled.
Yeah. I don't think the message really tampered with it too much. I think there was just little bits and pieces, but it wasn't like a particularly uncomfortable element to it. Can't really, yeah. So that thankfully that wasn't the case. And yeah, like you said, like the leadership part wasn't like a huge element. Like I think what bothered me, which a lot of people saw coming beforehand, was of course the cleaning scene, because I wanted to see what it would pop up. Because in the original story, you know, the animals, they lead Snow White into the house, and then she sees that it's a sty, and she's a kind, humble person, and she doesn't even know. She didn't know who lived there. She didn't know how they would treat her when they arrived from their long expedition. They were complete strangers. She was staying in the stranger's home, and she just starts cleaning with the animals, and the animals help her out a little bit, but she does most of it. And it was such a nice thing to do, to clean for a stranger, to do something nobody wants to do. Who wants to do that? I
Mhm.
don't want to clean some stranger's house. That's
Yeah.
inspiring. It makes me want to be generous like that, and to get my hands dirty and be of service to someone that is at the end of the day doing something nice for me, and I don't even know it yet. And in this, she's already, the animals let her into the house. She just kind of goes right to bed, and the dwarves bumble in there. They get scared, and then the next day they wake up. They make food, and they get in a big fight at the dinner table or the breakfast table, whatever you want to call it, the big table, and they trash the place. What's his face? Dopey. I think like a bowl of porridge gets poured on his head or
Yeah.
something, and then he gets
Yeah.
all upset and he pouts and he runs off. And then this is like her first talk with Dopey. Well, I guess it's sort of her second like heart to heart moment with Dopey, and she levels with him, and they start whistling because he can't talk, and that's sort of like the first step to being comfortable talking. And they whistle together, and then she goes on in, and they start inspiring the other dwarves to start whistling. And then, whistle while you work, I'll whistle while you work. And she just starts handing them all these tools. Oh, there's something, clean that down there, here you go, handed this. Oh, you did that wrong, better pick up the broom and sweep this way.
Yeah.
Trying to make it fun, and she helped out a little bit, but it just wasn't, it wasn't the same kind of service.
No.
That was sort of like, that was the first sign of her leadership, right? Managerial principles right there. She was managing a cleaning crew, and
That's
she
right.
did a good job managing. Her leadership skills, they showed at that scene.
Yeah.
And then you see that a few more times. Then she ends up leading the wanderers. They're mindless. They don't understand each other, even though they've been bandits together as a team for years. They're still kind of bumping into each other's heads. And when she shows up, it's all different, of course. And she leads them and shows them, the best versions of themselves they didn't know about. And then she does it at the very end too, when she, confronts the queen at the very end. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. It sounds like a lot, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I am upset that they changed that scene because it's so heartfelt with her and the animals, like doing a kindness. And then she's like, well, you guys made a mess. Now you pick it up,
Yeah, I mean, were there any scenes that, like, of Snow White doing something truly, like, inspiring to you? Like, where you saw and you're like, that's nice. That, like, this, you went out of your way to do this. And this is something I want to do with my life. Did you get that at all?
I didn't get that at all. And that's the thing I like about Snow White, even though she is naive, she just is so heartwarming and sweet and genuine. And I didn't get any of that from this character. I didn't get that. She just seemed
No.
like a little dumbfounded. Like, I don't know if, like I don't know. She didn't portray it like the original character at all. So
No. And
disappointing.
yeah, I think like I took a note. I was just like, I hated it. I hated what I was doing. I wasn't texting. I was taking notes on my phone like the whole movie because there's so many little annoying things bothered me. And I remember one of the things that popped up was like towards the very beginning when the huntsman, comes into the picture and he's supposed to kill Snow White. They have like a friendly interaction at first. She's I think at first she was just wandering through the forest in the original movie, and then he came up and he was going to like sneak attack her. But in this, she's at like an apple orchard, this beautiful apple orchard, hundreds of trees full of dozens and dozens of apples per tree, and she was picking them. And the one kind gesture I can clearly remember was her picking an apple and handing it to him. Would you
Yeah.
like one? Oh, well, there's like a million apples here, but it was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's sad. Actually, now that
You remember that?
I remember that, but that is like the only scene where you're like, oh, she's kind-hearted. It should have been much more prominent than that.
I wish she would have like mended some animals' wounds or something. I mean, she was with all these nice animals. Wouldn't it have been nice if she healed some poor little chipmunk or something, or help them out? There's simple ways to fall in love with these characters that they did not take the liberty of pursuing.
Yeah, that's a shame. That would have been a total Snow White thing to do. Like, let me just heal your little broken leg or something.
Yeah, yeah. Get your hands dirty and help out the poor animals. That's easy win right there.
Hmm.
But I don't know. The
Yeah,
animals, they all loved her. The dwarves loved her. The animals loved her. The guy, I guess he kind of loved her at first. Not really. I don't know. The guy was such a lame choice. He was such a lame, douchey choice. Really disappointing. It was so modern. It was so. It just did not have classic love story at all
mm-mm.
as the at the forefront. Absolutely not.
No. Weird chemistry, not strong guy.
No, no. And I mean, he could be like a not, he doesn't have to be big or anything, but I mean, just, act like a guy, be, have a strong will, be compassionate, uh, have some charisma, be caring, care about her. Don't be, like he was just kind of a back talking, kind of sassy limp dick.
Yeah. I
And
didn't like how they were getting on each other at the, like the Princess Problems song was so corny.
oh,
It was so bad, wasn't it?
princess problems. That's what it was.
Princess
Oh.
Problems. I mean, that's just a horrible recurring. What was like the line? Ugh.
Princess problems. That's what it was. Yeah, the songs were terrible in this too. The songs, they were not. Yeah, they. I thought the first song was probably the best one, where she was singing in the castle.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best one.
No, I like the opening. I like the beginning song with her when she was at the well. Is that one you're talking about?
Yeah, kinda. Like, I don't remember exactly what she was talking about, but I remember when I was watching it, I was like, meh, it's not completely. It doesn't rub me the wrong way completely.
Right.
I
I
don't know.
know. Too
I
many
don't know.
things.
Yeah. Let's see. Out of okay. So clearly, as the title suggests in this video, cringe incoming. What do you think was like the cringiest element of the entire film?
Ugh.
If you could just make it one item.
It's the dwarfs for sure. For me, I don't know. Just them. Just take them out of the movie. They need to be out of the movie. I'm trying to think of a moment, but there's so many.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can't even narrow it down to one moment.
No. What about
Oh
you
my
though? What's your
gosh.
cringy element?
Well, I think it was like the dwarves for me. That's probably I mean, I'm not hopping on the bandwagon. I got written here. The dwarves were completely insufferable. Insufferable dwarves. Insufferable CGI fake dwarfs. And it's like you have to see it yourself. I hope somebody uploads all of the clips of these dwarves because it's just truly inhuman and freaky, really freaky. I think also the fact that I'd say the dwarves are number one. The second cringiest thing for me too was was just the feeling that this entire movie is trying so hard. It tried
Mhm.
so hard to be good. The costumes, the costumes really bothered me because everything was extremely vibrant, extremely complicated, and just bedazzled Megorium. It was insane how ridiculous everybody looked. You look at the old cartoon and everything's so simple, you know what I mean? It's light blue
Mhm.
here, dark blue here, light red here, crimson red here. It's not that complicated. And they tried really hard with all the costumes.
They did.
And everybody was just like they were either acting their ass off, acting as hard as they could, or they were like really unsure of themselves and were just trying to get by, just get the scene over.
Yeah. I felt like the huntsman did that a couple times. He's like, let's just do this. Well, you know what's weird? You mentioned the costumes, and then at the end, everybody is in white, and I'm like, why?
No, that was odd. I
They
liked
were
the white. I thought she looked good. The white. I think that was my favorite. My favorite outfit was all white.
all white, yeah, but everybody was in all white. So I'm like, what are they trying to do here?
I think anybody could look good wearing all white clothes. It works on everyone. It's a good look. I don't know. I'm weird about that. I think it was just I didn't mind that scene actually.
Oh.
I
Well,
know,
no,
weird,
that's
right?
good. I was like, where'd the color go? I guess I like color, so I'm like, why is everybody in all white?
Do you think do you think the young girls and boys that go to see this in theaters, do you think they'll be inspired? Do you think
No.
like young people in your family will be interested in this story? Will be, will try to put themselves in her shoes?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't even think it's inspiring for kids. I know this, let's say it's not for us, it's for kids. I don't think they're going to find anything in this movie with any merit, and I don't even think they'll like it that much, honestly. I
Um,
don't think it can hold their attention the way it should.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. I think they yeah, I mean, geez, poor kids, their attention span's so low nowadays. But I've been talking to some kids at work, and they watch a lot of complicated movies. I'm pretty impressed. So it's a pleasure to hear their stories about that. But I think like people just have people. I think just people in general, humanity itself can understand when something is decent or not. No matter how brainwashed they might be by a certain idea or how short their attention span is, I feel like everybody has respect for a good story. And I think it'll show with this, I think maybe it'll do well in the box office, but maybe it won't carry over into being passed down to generation to generation. Definitely won't be in that case. But I think like a lot of high quality films, they don't do so well in the theaters. But here we are, and we're talking about them today. And I don't. That's definitely not going to be the case with this. I mean, I'm confident about
Uh-uh.
that. I can't imagine anybody going to see this more than once.
Oh, no.
Could you?
No, I don't think I could sit through it again. Although I kind of want to, I wanted to take more notes.
Yeah,
But
right. When you
yeah.
saw this in theaters, did you sit in like the very back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good,
I was
good.
in the
So nobody
back.
could like look at you typing and stuff.
Yeah, I was on my phone constantly writing down stupid lines.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, do you have any good ones you could read?
Well, for me, it was the do you want hot milk, and then them saying dopey sounded like a baby angel. Like that just stuck out to me. I was
Yeah.
like, what? And then, oh, I think one of them said that could be entoplasm. Don't touch it. Like when they
Yeah.
were
I think
talking
you're
about
right.
getting Snow White from the bed, they thought she was a ghost. And I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah. Where do they pull this stuff from?
Yeah,
That's
just
pretty
the
weird.
weirdest dialogue.
Gosh. You know, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't really would you say like did you end up watching The Acolyte?
Oh yeah, I watched all of
Yeah.
it. It
Was
was
was Star
horrible.
Wars was that something that, you held near and dear to your heart? Was Star Wars big or no?
Yeah, Star Wars is
Okay.
definitely something that I love and care about.
Did Acolyte like offend you when you watched it?
It did. It
Okay.
was I thought it was so horribly done. The thing about it was the writing was so bad that it was actually funny. Like it started to become entertainment just in how bad it was. But
Mhm.
it's like a disgrace to Star Wars at the same time. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't stand Osha and May. They were both driving me
Oh,
crazy.
there she is, guys. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
right there. Check her out. That's live action right there.
Yeah, that's good
Um,
representation.
well, I only bring that up because, like, all right, was this like? Did you feel? Well, no, obviously you didn't because you were laughing about it.
I
But did you
know.
feel? Did you feel like that same sort of impact like you did on Acolyte when watching this?
Yeah, yeah, no, I did. I
You
couldn't
still did.
believe how much it got so bad. Like it was okay in the beginning, and then it just got really terrible. Like after the dwarves came in, it was awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think like I really wish I had like this at my disposal because there are just endless thumbnail opportunities here. Every like poor Rachel, God bless her. She gives so many derpy faces in this. It's just like nonstop derpy faces. And of course these dwarves. I really wanted to like screenshot a picture of the dwarf of Doc crying. He just gave the perfect crying face.
I
And
know.
it's like, no, you can't do that in a theater. That's not how it works. There was also a weird part in the movie where, like, I don't know if you noticed. I do not remember this in the first movie at all. When the dwarves are mining, in the very beginning, like when they're first introduced and they're mining, and then their
Yeah.
hands started glowing.
Did they
You noticed
glow in the
that
movie?
they were? I don't remember them glowing in the animated film. They were glowing.
No.
They were like, oh, my hand glows when I touch stones.
Oh, that's crazy. No, I
It
noticed
was
the
weird.
stones were like that whole scene was weird to me. It was overdone.
Oh, gosh. Well,
I did not like hearing them sing. I don't like hearing them sing at all.
oh, yeah, yeah. They didn't have like, it was weird. I don't know. Maybe it was the voice acting or something, or like the sound mixing, but the songs were worse. They sounded worse being sung by them. And these dwarves, maybe it was the visuals that just completely take you out of anything they say. Like, you ever look at something and it's so disturbing that you can't really like even think about anything else, because
Yeah.
that's how it was for me. Let's get
Yeah.
to a few more of these chats, and then we'll say our final thoughts on the movie. I don't think we have too many here. So, all right, Brown Eyes, we love you, buddy. So, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't know. That's a good question. Ryan Kennel. That's what I thought, man. And you know what? Good for Ryan. He was right. Oh my! I just realized the duo twin heads of Stenberg from the Acolyte behind you. That is so hilariously cursed. Yes, exactly, man. You gotta cope. You gotta cope with being like pushed in the mud and forced to eat it, because that's what they did to us in Acolyte. Were the costumes at least good or no? No, they weren't, man.
Mm-mm.
Like, I liked her Snow White costume. I thought she looked. I mean, it was like kind of frumpy.
It was fine. I think the skirt was too short, but that's just me analyzing.
You thought the skirt was too short?
Yeah.
That's funny. I thought it was a nice conservative outfit, and it fit her well. The hair really was a problem.
Yeah, the hair
It didn't
wasn't
do her
good.
any favors. I wish she was wearing this clown makeup here. That would have been hilarious. All right, Sly Jester. This movie will bomb harder than Operation Rolling Thunder. Is that from Tropic Thunder? I don't know. Sorry, man.
Oh, maybe.
Wish I knew the reference. I'm free. Who's winning? Who's winning? Who's winning, Proctophile? Nobody's winning here. We both lost. We're both losers in this place. We both lost. We lost our minds. I really lost my mind, Proctophile. This has been a rough ride, but it's been fun talking about it. I feel settled. I feel like this monster inside of me has finally just left my system.
Yeah, let it out. You can heal now.
Yeah, we can move on. Sometimes you just got to talk with the people and express yourself, right?
Right?
Oh yeah, Proctophile. That sucks, man. Yeah, I mean you're an optimistic man, Proctophile. He's also an artist. But no, nothing good to pull from here, buddy. Sorry. Well, Cammy, do you have any final thoughts about Snow White or anything we might have missed? I mean, I can't think of anything else to say, or else I'd keep talking.
I mean, I keep looking at my notes. I think we covered mostly everything. It's such a jumbled movie, and it was really hard to even. It's not memorable. It's not memorable. So
No.
I'm ready for it to like leave my mind and never think of it again. Yeah, it was bad. It was as bad as everyone said it would be. Sadly.
Yeah, I thought it was even worse than what everybody said.
Yeah, it was kind of no charm at all. So
yeah, that's the one word I was thinking. Like while watching this movie, sometimes you reflect on the much better version of itself, and the word charm is just the perfect word to describe the first Snow White. Charm. It was charming, and it made you want to be a better version of yourself, which this movie did not encourage really at all. So It's sad. Well, let's see. As for me, final thoughts: whatever you do in life, never watch this ever, unless you want to just. It's not even worth the memeing. It's not worth it. It's not funny. It's not even meme worthy to me. Maybe to her, she thinks so. But yeah, it's not going to be a fun ride. Don't check it out. Box office brawler. Thumbs down.
No,
big thumbs down. If I could give it out of 10, I'll be nice. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. 20%.
I was gonna say the same thing. 2 out of 10.
20? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not worthy of anything else. That's being nice too.
It is being nice. Well, we'll give it a point. Like some of the stuff in the beginning was okay-ish, but no.
Yeah, it was like like right off the bat you were thinking like, okay, maybe this isn't as bad as it will be.
That's what I thought. When I started, I was like, maybe, this might not be that bad. And then after that point, you realize that it's getting bad.
Yeah. You know, whatever it is, God bless these actresses and these actors. God help you guys. You know, Rachel, I hope you start being more positive in your life, doing good things. Same for Gal Gadot and all these people. You know, we all make
Yes.
mistakes. We all do make dumb decisions.
We wish them the
There's
best.
always room for forgiveness, and you know our actions don't define who we are. So that's my message of the day, because it's
That's
so
true.
easy to be frustrated by this and be frustrated to all the lead up going into it. But at the end of the day, it's not that serious.
It's
It's
not.
movies. It's movies. It's not that big of a deal all the time, and sometimes it is, and
Right.
maybe it was a little bit, but no.
Yeah, I mean, she's movies actors. I hope the best for her. I do think she's a talented young woman. This just wasn't the role for her, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Cami, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your channel and about, upcoming projects you're working on, get people excited
Oh,
about
you're
you?
sweet. You're sweet. Yeah, if you guys want to check me out, let's tune in. I do movie reviews like Jack said as well. So I also like to live stream TV shows like Daredevil we're running through right now. So if you guys want to follow me, you can check it out. And yeah,
Yeah, give her a sub.
that
She's
is
got good
me.
stuff. She inspired me to kind of get into this. This is fun. I love doing the streaming, and
Isn't live streaming fun? I
yeah,
love
it's
it.
fun. This is a lot better than video editing. A
It
lot
is.
better. More fun. We like talking to you guys too. So thanks to everybody talking in the chat. It's a lot of fun, and I don't want to be superficial with people, but it's great. I love talking to y'all.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm probably gonna make a video on this tomorrow and try to cover some things maybe I haven't said. I think we rode in the rodeo, I think we covered everything. I don't think we could talk about anything else.
Yeah,
But
I think we got it all.
yeah, definitely give Cammy here a sub. She's great. And she inspired me to watch Daredevil. And the last episode was dog. But yeah, so now I'm not too excited. I
But
was more
you're watching
optimistic.
it. You're watching
I
it.
am watching it. Yeah. So she could be an inspirational person. So check out her channel.
I'll
Very
never bend you on
optimistic.
Captain America though.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
It's
Well, here,
not
wait.
that great. It's not.
Let's answer. All right, Proctophile. We got just a few more chats. We'll answer them real quick. Now you're okay. Now you're ready to evolve into the same cynical man that all the other reviewers inevitably become. Yeah, I'm trying, Proctophile. I'm trying. We could always be better. So nice and optimistic. Thanks, buddy. Ooh. Yay.
Oh, Kobe.
Was that your friend? Nice.
Yeah, it's my friend Kobe.
Ooh, she's
I
nice
love
to
you.
Thanks for joining us last minute.
Oh,
It's all good.
she
Thank
was
you,
probably
everybody,
here the
for
whole
watching.
time.
If you enjoyed our stream, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out Cammy's channel here. Let's tune in. Share the video.
Yep.
We love the shares. It'd be great if you want to support us,
Give it
support
a
our
like.
channels, because we are optimistic people. We try to see the best in others. And you know what? If something sucks, it sucks. And we're going to say so. And I'm letting it out of my system. I'm not holding anything back. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of keeping walls that are keeping us from saying what we want to say. Nothing's getting in our way on this show. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye, guys.